All right. Welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA Podcast. My name is Keith Parrish. I'm here once again with my buddies through the miracle of computer phone. Here with Chuck Anderson.
Hey now.
And with John Burr.
Ma'am. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. I'm glad I remembered to do that Burr thing that I just discovered like, what was it? A month ago.
You're like a PE coach now.
Is it? I'm not making fun of it. I feel like PE coaches are known just for making fun of people's names.
I was a really tall kid, so PE coaches just loved me. I had the reverse bullying where I think they were grooming me.
You were a tall kid?
I was this height at like 12.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was hilarious to watch everyone just slowly grow taller than me. And watch my unfounded confidence sift out of my pores.
Well, I mean, I don't feel like that confidence has gone away, John.
I guess I got it back.
I guess the important formidable years, that's where you set that self-confidence.
It was weird to be center on my middle school basketball team and point guard on my high school basketball team. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
Very strange.
You were Bam Adebayo just if he'd stopped developing at like age 8.
You know those stories they always have where, and then he shot up 7 inches in the senior year. I had the opposite. So you had a point guard who could not shoot.
Had a really good post-up game.
Yeah, it was not. I was basically the professor. What was Clippers? Anthony Miller. I was Anthony Miller.
Andre Miller.
Andre Miller doesn't really work. You don't want that in there. Your high school game.
Andre Miller, one of my favorite basketball players.
Awesome player.
Chuck, you're doing fine this morning. I'd say you look good right now. If you can see the video, you have a glowing microphone whose turquoise light matches your Florida Marlins hat, which matches your Miami Heat NBA Jam, pink and blue. A lot of good coordination visually for those of the dozens of people who can see your
Marlins
visuals.
beat my Braves last night. I'm having a little wardrobe change.
I do love the Florida Marlins original logo, the OG
Classic.
It's a classic. So I bought one, even though I haven't watched a Marlins baseball game in a decade, perhaps, maybe not 8 years.
Well, we established on our Patreon only Zoom hangout, which is posted over on patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. If you want to watch it, it is, by the way, I know this is a promotional thing I'm about to say. It's hilarious.
Also, we do so much better when we don't have a format. Like when we can just talk.
You need to break format. You don't
think
need to be guided.
No, I think we're just funnier when we just talk. But we've done the same thing for a decade. So let's.
You are Russell Westbrook bucking against the system. You're saying, listen, I need to be freeform. I can't play within these shackles. This is
also Russell Westbrook within the system where every year it's like he's turning over a new leaf and going to play differently. But then we're going to get back to Chuck being like, "Oh God, I'm so tired. What are we talking about? We better help me pick segments."
I didn't watch any basketball this weekend.
Yeah, I'll just give you the Chuck green light, throw it to you, and then
and we'll just start talking about
Looking forward to basketball news.
Yeah. Basketball news.
Chuck throws one off the side of the backboard.
The Zoom hangout was 1, it was hilarious. 2, we talked about men's health in a way that revealed an incredible ignorance among most of the hosts and the listeners about our own bodies. Also, I revealed that I similarly had I hadn't watched the Florida Marlins play in 26 years. I could nail down the last time I saw the Florida Marlins play a baseball game.
Mm-hmm. The Chuck Carr was on
last
the team
night. I watched the Marlins play last night.
Uh-huh.
I'm proud. You're an all sports everyman, John. We love it. We need it.
I know. I need to stop.
Gotta
give. I've given up NFL essentially.
Me too.
And that's felt pretty good. Although
my addiction is back hard.
Oh,
I did watch Tua Tagovailoa get successive.
Yeah, they murdered a guy on TV last week.
It was so brutal.
I was a longtime Dolphins fan, and they broke my heart year after year. So I finally gave up, and then I'm like, "Ooh, they're 3-0.
Yeah, they're fun.
I think I'm gonna watch this Thursday night game on Amazon Prime." Let's do it. And then I watched a man's fingers. He started throwing gang signs. And I'm like, okay, I'm done.
You watched significant brain damage.
It was
brutal.
terrifying.
Not only were the Dolphins 3-0 in this pro football segment, which has turned off all our listeners, not only were they 3-0, they were an exciting 3-0. They were playing a unique brand. They were running gun. They were like our Memphis Grizzlies, up and down, forcing turnovers, points in transition. That's what they were doing.
They had more points in 3 games than I watched in all the years Dave Wannstedt coached.
Jay Fiedler.
Yes.
Anyways, before we lose all of our listeners, we only have like 8, and I ran into 2 of them at Disney World. We should talk breakfast. What breakfast have you guys had? John, what's your breakfast?
Waterloo pineapple flavored water.
And now,
how many versions of canned water do you have at your house?
At the moment, 3.
Just 3? Because you were drinking that weird emergency drinking water or something the other day.
The Living Death. I'm very embarrassed.
Liquid Death.
Whatever.
Liquid Death.
We don't want to say their name correctly.
I'm very embarrassed by that one, but it is really good for some reason.
Just water.
But it has it's like super carbonated. So what I'm going for in the mornings is I'm trying to sizzle the taste of last night's bad decisions away. It's not unlike some sort of hangover cure on the
charcuterie plate you opened up at 2 a.m.
Yeah, for me, it's
wash that clean.
Dude, I threw a charcuterie plate away last night. 250. That's prescient, my friend.
Man, I would just
I threw one away around
stereotypically threw something out
night.
and it stuck.
But it helps me get rid of my food hangover. I do think Waterloo's probably my favorite brand, but it's like hard to find. So
I'm gonna rank mine. Spindrift
doesn't count. Has calories.
You're right. It's 5
I
calories.
Thought you were gonna. I thought the first
juice.
thing, Chuck, you misspoke and just said spit, and I was like, if there's not a sparkling water company called Spit yet, we got to do that. A can of spit. Come on.
I work in branding. We can do this. That sounds like rap stuff.
Let's do it. Oh yeah, we'll get Lil Boosie.
Rap snacks and spit.
I'm
writing this down.
This I'm ever spitting. So yeah, it's Spindrift, then LaCroix, then Waterloo, then whatever Aldi brand. Aldi actually, they're
I've never heard of this Waterloo thing, which Waterloo, again, famous historical failure. Also,
well, maybe
water in Lou is what the British people call bathrooms. I don't love it's like ranch water. Ranch water, first thing I think of is like, what is that, like runoff? Is that
Hidden Valley
where the cows
flavored
Hidden Valley ranch water. Let's do this. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's make money, Chuck.
Chuck, what's your breakfast?
I had a big old bowl of I've been so consistent. Big old bowl of
could be anything. I'm excited. What's it gonna be?
What are you doing with your hand?
I'm getting fired up.
He's whooping like he's on Arsenio.
You said a big old bowl.
I
it could be
just got distracted. It was hypnotic what you were doing.
I was getting fired up for this big old bowl. If you say granola.
Greek yogurt and granola, baby.
Oh, you could have said anything.
I know, but whatever.
What if he had said baked beans?
I would.
Keith
guy's eating beans.
I was about to start a big old bowl of gumbo for breakfast, Keith, to blow your mind, but then I like this
gumbo.
I eat gumbo like 4 times. No, there's an Atlanta Braves sports bar called Spicy Boys near my house with great gumbo.
Tell me more.
They got great po' boys.
Tell me where to get the gumbo. I need that.
They got Natchitoches meat pies. Shout out Spicy Boys.
I'll be back in 1 minute. Hang
on. Spicy Boys is legit.
Oh, it's amazing. And they're a Braves bar. I watched a Braves game last night.
They were.
It's your Marlins.
Are the Marlins in the playoffs?
No.
Okay, it's October. I thought
the Braves just swept the Mets and were just down. But the Marlins and Braves do have sort of a rivalry because the Marlins,
we knocked them out.
Psychotic manager Mattingly hits our best player all the time.
Which Mattingly? Don Mattingly?
Yeah.
Is our manager? Man, I need to get back into baseball.
Baseball is great. You just follow one team.
Right.
You don't look at anything else. You watch games when you can.
There's so many you don't feel bad.
It's a very easy phone or radio listen if you don't want to actually watch.
Right.
I just put it up on this TV over here and I had so much sports going on last night. It was kind of intoxicating.
Yeah, I'm big into the NSC.
I'm back on the. Oh man, I can't.
It's fun. We got Hadi Mukhtar is incredible to watch.
NSC talk. God, I love that soccer team.
Once when the stadium stuff is figured out, I'm in. But until then, that live experience is unholy, and I can't believe how expensive it is. I can't do it.
So expensive.
I can't. I mean, I'm like, it's like.
How come I don't understand how the in the door cost isn't less. I can't take a family to this. I'm rich and can't take my family.
I got I got playoff tickets that are $40 a piece. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
That's fine. The walk in the door price is like $30 a head.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, you could bring your own drink bottle now, and
I'm saying to take my family of 4.
Yeah, if you want to feed them.
Baseline, it's like $130 without buying anything, and that kind of blows my mind. So I had to pause the show. I'd like everyone to know why I had to pause the show. The guy, my lawnmowers, the lawn mowing team is here.
Lawnmower man,
and we have a little
Chef
patch.
Fahy.
We have an overgrown part where flowers used to be that we've seeded back to nature. We're saying, like, listen, we're not going to take care of this little flower bed, but it hasn't been mowed ever. And I don't even have any implement. I have shears. I have nothing that can cut grass right now. I don't have a working lawnmower or weed eater. I have with scissors, a pocket knife. But anyway, I had to stop, run outside and tell the guys hey, you see that patch there? That is gone now. Please mow it. So that's why the show had to be stopped. I throw it to Chuck. Freelance.
Enthralling. Here we go.
Justice. Sorry.
Off the top of the dome.
My breakfast was I had a cinnamon and sugar donut from one of our favorite eateries. Kind of hated it. Just dry and ugh. It just was a hard going down. So underwhelming donut. But you know what? I'm not going to let it slow me down because, boys, did you feel it?
I did.
Did you guys feel it on Monday night?
I did.
I felt
basketball was like back, like legit back, like
moving,
totally back. Like it didn't feel fake. It didn't feel like this is preseason. It felt real. Felt real on Monday. Had so many great games.
Parts of like 5 NBA games.
Yeah, it felt real. Like, I'm just flipping around. All the stars are playing. But we'll get to that in a second.
Grandiose. I've drawn incredible conclusions already.
Oh, I can't wait to hear them.
They're the same conclusions I make every year, but they're drawn.
We'll get to that probably in our steak and eggs best thing. But before that, after our breakfast, we go to our breakfast in bed apologies. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong in a previous episode. Is there anything that you guys would like to atone for from other episodes? Chuck, what's your apology?
Keith saw 2 listeners at Disney World. I was at the Nashville Wedgwood Houston art crawl this weekend.
Now we're talking.
I ran into a listener. Somebody walked up to me, goes, "Hey, Chuck." I go, "Oh no, do I owe you money,
madam? I apologize.
Did you?"
Yeah.
And it was a listener.
Yes.
James Inshow. Right.
Oh. Yeah, we know that guy.
Slack.
He's in the Slack. And then he reached out in Slack and said, "Hey, thanks for saying hi. You were great. It was great to meet you and all that." And I was like, "Great to put a real name, a real face to a weird internet handle." And it turns out his internet handle is just his last name.
Yeah.
So I apologize to you for, disparaging your family. In a message where you were being quite kind to me.
Your crest,
your flag.
Sorry,
Mr. Inshow. I thought you were Inshow was some sort of weird like Love Kebab 69 or Joe Yoder's current iteration. Bear Cub.
I know Bear Cub lives in Nashville. Just give me a name, man. I can't remember.
I think that's his last name, Joe Bear Cub.
Oh, that's my fault. Oh, I've insulted another family and their ancestors. John, you got anything you need to correct?
So I feel like I owe, or I'm going to owe Chuck a variety of apologies for disparaging Tyler Herro for years now. When the Grizzlies, we have Tyler Herro on our team now. I can't separate Jake LaRavia from Tyler Herro. There's too many aesthetic similarities. I don't care how different the games become. When I see Jake LaRavia, I just see Tyler Herro. I'm very confused, but I'm very in love. And now I understand what's happened.
I mean, Jake LaRavia is not even attempting to have Jake LaRavia's hair, very boring, very traditional conservative, just basketball player haircut. Like, go get a basketball player haircut.
So in my top down view, watching the games, I'm just seeing a white guy with flat top and long arms flailing wildly, and it just feels Tyler Herro-ish to me. And gosh darn it, it feels good. I'm into this gangly white guy. Wild.
He's got. Their skin tone. The actual. The levels of caucasity, an exact skin tone match.
Yes. Yeah, it just looks like we created a player across both teams.
But it would. It would be best case scenario if LaRavia turned into anything like the level of player.
If you guys give Jake LaRavia a rookie extension in that amount, you guys have won.
Are you? I don't want to, Chuck. I don't want to step on any of your segments. Are we supposed to talk about this later? That extension blew my mind.
It always does. All extensions do.
No. This is the first one. I've been the guy the whole time where I'm Keith honestly,
that's good. Smart.
Like, honestly, you can't overpay. That's going to be fine. That's going to be fine. And then the Herro one was the first one where I was like, wow.
Well, it's because you haven't paid attention to where the market's going to be. Guys are going to be getting paid.
I literally just said I've been paying attention to it.
No, but guys are going where the market's going to be. You're making your determinations based on what the market rate is now. But in 2 years, guys are going to be getting $70 million a year contracts. This makes sense at that level. He's half the player of a max guy. Sure. Makes sense.
I guess. We're talking about he's going to be he's going to be a fifth of the cap, right? He's going to be a fifth of the cap and when it raises.
He's your third best player. That's probably where you want your third best player to be.
Third best player?
He's our third best player right now, for sure. And he's part of the build going forward. When Jimmy finally declines, he'll be the guy who takes up the offensive workload. The thing is, too, Keith, you have not, this isn't the first time you've been clutching your pearls at a Miami Heat signing. You once did it with Tyler Johnson. You once did it with Dion Waiters. You have a history.
I love how you just named a pile of terrible players.
No, those guys, when they signed, you were like, oh my God, but they made $12 million a year. Right now, that's like,
you just literally listed terrible contracts.
Those were contracts that got traded for other good players.
They did get traded, and if this is the same, like, we're just going to sign Myers Leonard and Kelly Olynyk and trade them, sure.
But it's not.
Myers Leonard.
But at the time,
I like how you were like, man, you said the Tyler Johnson deal was bad.
This is a terrible contract.
Yes, I did.
But you go back and you look at the numbers and you're like, well, that's what guys who shoot 30%, 39% get paid.
$20 million, $19 million a year for Tyler Johnson was terrible.
It was a disaster.
It was 12.5.
It was horrifying.
You think it was 20 million. It was 4 for 50. That's what he signed for.
Tyler Johnson.
Bring it up because I've already done my math. He did 4 for 50.
I'm looking this
I'll
up.
let you Google. Go ahead.
It's a bad deal, though.
For a guy who shot 39% from three.
But
it was like backloaded because the 1 year it was like it had that.
And they didn't pay the backload. They traded him. So how is it a bad deal? You guys are just like, the Heat culture.
It is a bad deal.
I'm going to jump on them. They suck. Look at Pat Riley. He's washed. Y'all are trash. Take somewhere else.
It was a good signing. That Chuck says you called this Tyler Herro psychotic. Contracts were good.
You called Tyler Herro's signing psychotic. It is the market. That's what people get paid. It is a good signing for a guy who just made $6 million a year and averaged 20 points a game. May I remind you, you didn't think that was going to happen.
I did not think it was going to happen. I did think he was going to be awful in the playoffs, and he was.
Him into I maybe shouldn't speak about something I don't know about.
I'm just going to leave the Tyler Johnson contract was a good deal as the refuting.
He got paid. That's what shooters get paid. That's what happens.
It's going to set the market for like a
Jake
lot.
LaRavia types all across.
Well, it's going to set the market for like Dylan Brooks. It's making the Jordan Poole deal
amazing.
God.
The Anthony Simons
but
deal.
If we want to compare it
look
to
amazing.
Anthony Simons, cool. It's a lot more than Anthony Simons. But
if we want to compare it to similar players,
I think he's better than Anthony Simons.
I'd like to thank you, the Miami Heat, and Tyler Herro for pricing Dylan Brooks out of the Grizzlies.
That's going to be a lot.
This was all based off RJ Barrett's contract anyway. It is.
Right. So like this makes the RJ Barrett signing way more.
It's $10 million less. RJ Barrett got 120 and then Herro got 130, but it's all incentives that he'll never get. So it's a $120 million year or $120 million contract. It's what the market is for rookie extension.
I think Chuck just swayed me with this RJ Barrett's talk.
All right, I'd rather.
RJ Barrett didn't win an award last year. Tyler,
we need a mayonnaise bath bet. It's because RJ Barrett started.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he didn't shoot as well. If you want to look at the stats, Tyler Herro's advanced metrics are better than RJ Barrett's.
Yeah, RJ Barrett really bad shooting.
I would rather
last year.
Tyler Herro.
If Tyler Herro wasn't a white dude who looked like he does with a punchable face, and he played for another franchise, y'all would be slurping how
he does. Jake LaRavia for the Grizzlies. I love it. All aboard.
There's a lot of biases that have to be unraveled. I'm ready to have a lot of
these scary Jimmy Chitwood cyberpunk types on my team now.
I love it.
We'll move on. I don't know how to couch this when Lowry and Herro are making $90 million combined in 2 years. It's going to be incredible. But my apology. I got confused about some time zones. I was telling people we were going to have, when we had our Zoom hangout, I thought it was going to be in the second half of this Clippers versus Maccabi Rahanani, or Ra'anana. I don't know if I'm saying that right. By the way, I looked on NBA.com. It says the team's name is Ra'anana Maccabi Ra'anana. During the broadcast, they never said that once. So I don't know if NBA.com is wrong, the new updated NBA.com. By the way, the updated NBA.com, you have to know tricks to get it to work. Like it's like an old video game or like the early aughts websites where there were like Easter eggs you could find. You have to do a certain sequence of events to get the stats page to load. Like you can't just click on the stat you want. It's like it's locked. Matt Moore, HP Basketball actually helped me out. He's like, yeah, you have to load up the 2021-2022 stats, hit get stats, then change it to the current year, hit get stats. I'm like, this is amazing. They have gatekept. That's the proper term. Gatekept. The gatekeeping to access the NBA stats page is outrageous. Maybe fix your stuff, NBA. But my apology, I incorrectly. I thought that Clippers Ra'anana Maccabi game was at 10 a.m. It was at 10 p.m. And I was thrown off because the Warriors game was at 6 a.m., not 6 p.m. So there was a Warriors game at 6 a.m. And then 16 hours later, there was a Clippers game. I got very confused. I hope that didn't throw anybody off who was possibly looking for our Zoom AMA brunch hangout. So I apologize there. Anyways, those were our breakfast in bed apologies. If before we get to our steak and eggs best thing, gotta tell you guys about Grizzlies season tickets. Guarantee your seats for the biggest games, the best giveaways at the best prices with your 2022-2023 Grizzlies season tickets, half season plans, and 10-game packs. Maybe you don't want to commit to the full season. You can get a 10-game pack. You can lock in those tickets to see Ja, Jaren, Dez, and the next gen Grizzlies make big time noise starting at just $11 per game. Get your tickets now by calling 901-888-HOOP or clicking grizzlies.com today. Chuck, have the Heat ever signed a bad contract?
Hassan Whiteside, who got traded.
Okay.
Or Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, it's a no.
I mean,
steak and eggs.
Pay your guys.
Steak and eggs best thing. What's
Tyler
the
Herro.
best thing? I do like keeping your assets as opposed to letting your assets walk. I'm into that.
We just dragged the Suns for the DeAndre Ayton debacle. We're gonna do that. Miami would have done that. Y'all would have danced on their grave too. They can't win.
You can win.
Not to y'all. Not to the Twitter and
just making up things now.
Whoa, is the Heat fan.
I mean, best thing.
Very
Chuck.
Protective.
Steak and eggs best thing. What's the best thing you
My
saw
best thing? Week? Bruh. basketball, the Heat had their annual scrimmage, the white, red, and black game, or red, white, and black. I'm not sure, but it's the big scrimmage. It was great. Highlights. I couldn't see the game. Highlights of the game were incredible. Bam hitting above the break threes. Come on, son.
I need a Jimmy Butler hair report.
I mean,
I don't even know if he played.
We talking full Predator 2 extensions? What are we talking about here?
The extensions have made a couple changes this offseason. I only watched Omer Yurtseven and Bam Adebayo 3-point attempts.
I want Jimmy Butler's hair to morph to look like every different character. I want him to look like a Wachowski sister by the end of the year.
I love this.
I want like Matrix 2, like orgy rave dance scene hair. I want to be worried about his neck, kind of how he used to be. Who was the player for the Magic? We used to worry about the weight of his hair.
Elfrid Payton.
Elfrid Payton.
We were worried about his hair blocking his free throws.
Yeah, I want there to be extension. I don't want to ever worry about anything real extensions, like contract extensions. I only want to worry about Jimmy Butler's extensions on his head for the
Which extension was worse, Tyler Herro or Jimmy Butler's hair?
This is tremendous.
Go on, Chuck. Go on.
What a troll move.
Chuck's best thing was watching a scrimmage highlight tape. Thank you, Chuck.
Beautiful.
John, what's
your
best
back?
thing?
Basketball's back, baby.
Basketball is back, and I'm going to tell you about a highlight clip of my favorite team's scrimmage.
Why not?
Incredible. Range?
That's
John,
why they listen.
What's your
That's
best
why they
thing?
listen.
Tyler Herro range. So I was disproportionately excited about two players with the last name Murray last night.
Oh yeah,
beautiful to see Jamal Murray back in action. Didn't look like he missed a beat. Him and Jokic looked like have you see like those YouTube videos where like pets are reunited with their like war-torn owners, or like two children haven't seen each other since before the pandemic. That's what Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic were. And better still, I can't believe I'm falling for this again. You see Keegan Murray?
Keegan Murray looked like a god.
Were you guys like angry at that pick though? Wasn't that like a crappy pick? The whole world thought it sucked.
I am just repeating. No, I think it
was generally accepted.
Okay.
It was. I think most people thought Jaden Ivey was the better prospect. So I think you are right there, Chuck.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
the people thought maybe they should have gone for Jaden Ivey. Although there's that overlap of De'Aaron Fox. But yeah, right now, and after Summer League, and now after this one preseason game, woo, Keegan Murray looks good.
Yes, and like I feel like who needs Tyrese Halliburton when you got that kind of thing going on in the backcourt?
Man, redemption. I did, Chuck. I did oppose the Tyrese Halliburton for DeMontis Sabonis trade. I remember
that.
I will probably one of my most embarrassing moments on the show that I still really don't feel bad about. But that was when I didn't care about Tyrese Halliburton for Sabonis. I never had so many podcasters in my DMs be like, "Are you all right?"
Okay. Well, the official stance of podcasters everywhere was that was not a great trade. So the consensus groupthink, the meandering sheep of podcasters, we all said bad move. Yeah. Thank you. I'm gonna walk out. That was
amazing.
I think I'm talked into the Kings again.
Well, dude, I mean, I really love one of the saddest franchises in the NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers. They did have Westbrook just not even. I mean, I don't know what
walking into the paint. Walking into the paint.
I don't know what career numbers are, but he scored something like 30,000 points or whatever in his career. He's won an MVP. Is he supposed to try in preseason? Because I don't know, but wow. It was some bad clips of him just walking and not following where his guy was, and Keegan Murray looking amazing. My best thing is similar, John. Where like Keegan Murray looked incredible. The return of Jamal Murray for me, it was not only that there was a bunch of basketball games on, it was a bunch of full strength squads playing all their guys. It was the vision of all these things we'd hoped for, and it felt like for some of these things we'd waited over a full year. It felt like they were all there at the same time. We had Ben Simmons. Playing with the Nets. We had Ben Simmons and Joe Harris back.
Okay. Back to the podcaster thing. Yeah. My stupid NBA fan friends. I had all of my friends texting me like, man, check out the Nets with Joe Harris. It looks legit. And so I switch over there and it's just the Sixers killing them.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
I don't want to hear about Joe Harris.
The
anymore.
Sixers had
Stop
D'Anthony
talking
Melton.
to me about
kind
Joe
of,
Harris. Yeah.
No, but I liked watching this. It was a theoretical Nets team. We never got to see. We got to see it. We saw Kyrie. We saw Ben Simmons. We saw Joe Harris. We had the Nuggets, not just Jamal Murray, but Michael Porter Jr. Porter Jr. looking pretty solid. Him out there with Jokic once again. We had Kawhi Leonard playing
that was big
basketball.
He looked
Kawhi
scary
Leonard
too.
playing basketball. We even had a player I didn't even know truly existed, a player who finished second in the Rookie of the Year vote a few years ago. Kenny Nunn came back. Kendrick Nunn played for the Lakers. I didn't even know that guy was real.
Got worked by Davion Mitchell multiple times.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, he was rusty for not having played basketball since he was on the Heat.
Since the bubble.
Can I squeeze in some of my preseason prop bets?
We got these preseason. Hey, that could have been an apology, John. You teased so many bets last week, and listen, it wasn't in our doc. I didn't even know you had these things, and we just flew through them. We never got back around to them.
I'm one of the great show preparers, but it's one of those, if a tree falls in the woods, like if I don't tell anyone that I've prepared these things, did it really happen? You know?
Yeah. What do you want to do? This is John's both sides of the booty bet. By the way, guys, we had a listener who suggested Giannis sent me a DM that betting out of both sides of my butt, an acronym for betting out of both sides is boobs. So boobs of my butt bets.
Oh, love it.
So John,
did
you have? Is this a Davion Mitchell prop, or what kind of prop are we doing here?
It's actually Jokic related.
Oh, Jokic. Okay.
I think Jokic under 27 points a game is going to be a lock. I think we'll get back to dealing Jokic, who like sometimes would have 30 points a game, sometimes have 10 points a game and like 14 assists and 12 rebounds, and they just dominate through some other avenue because Jokic finds the matchup he likes and exploits it. I think we're gonna get that Jokic back. I don't think we're gonna have like a ridiculous scoring season from Jokic necessarily.
That makes sense to me. I think I would accept that. Last year he was 27.1 points. The year before he was 26.4.
Because of that,
4 minutes.
I found it's one of these weird bets like the Desmond Bain one with weird odds and stuff. So you need to see, it was actually on DraftKings, but you could do Ja versus Joker points per game versus each other.
Really?
And you could get Ja at only minus 130, which I think is a lock smash.
Oh, that's a slam jam lock.
We mentioned Westbrook. I think Westbrook will have his effect on the rebounding of his teammates as usual. I like to go grab the unders for the rebounders on his team. If you notice, Steven Adams' rebounds are completely different when Russell Westbrook isn't around. So AD under 10 rebounds a game. And then we mentioned Tyrese Halliburton. I can't wait to bet that Tyrese Halliburton will have under 9.5 assists per game, which
that's a really high number.
He's somehow being predicted to be the second leading assist guy. The Tyrese Halliburton stuff is wild to me, but just some fun bets floating around out there. And if you mention any other players that I'm betting on, I'll pipe up.
I will say I'm pretty high on. I mean, obviously I'm the mirror image of Chuck with the Heat with the Grizzlies sometimes, and I'm very high on Ja Morant's points per game this year. I think it's going to be outrageous. So, definitely I would take him over Jokic.
There's a great double line, big odds line of if you're a big Grizz believer, you can make a lot of money off of Ja Morant. Plus, if he gets MVP and scoring title, it's like plus 4,500 or something insane.
Well, that does seem ridiculous.
I know, but if he gets the scoring title, I'd say there's a good chance, And speaking of my MVP odds, talking out of both sides of my butt, I've got my long shots are Zion Williamson at plus 4,000, Dame at plus 4,000, and then the both sides. I'll also take Luka at plus 425. You got to sprinkle in
some favorites there. Yeah, I gotcha. Those were our best thing. The opposite of our best thing is our worst thing. What's the worst thing you saw in the last week, John? What's your worst thing?
So I'm really perplexed, kind of apoplectic over just how far the negative prognostications for the Celtics and Suns have gone. I watched Luke Walton, one of the worst coaches I've ever seen, guide air quotes, a Dubs team to historic number of wins. I think the Celtics can be just fine without, first-year coach Ime Udoka and be a good team and maybe even an Eastern Conference favorite. I don't think this is the end of the world. I just think these are professionals. We don't give the players enough credit. I know Chris Paul's a year older. Things are weird in Phoenix. There's some bad vibes. I don't recall Chris Paul being on bad teams. I just think it's gone too far to the notion that they're going to be early playoff exits, etc. It's just gone too far for me.
Are you just blowing past the fact that the Suns lost to the Adelaide 36ers? That's the headline. Are you burying the lead?
I know.
More
John,
betting.
You're just like, man, I don't think
more betting out of both sides of my mouth. I did bet on the Adelaide 36ers in that game.
What do you guys think? This could have been my best thing. I mean, I'm a Suns hater. Them losing to an NBL team is amazing.
Adelaide was shooting hot.
Incredible shooting numbers from Adelaide. But how do you guys feel Jock Landale felt?
Oh yeah,
like he's on the
Traitor.
Suns, and he's just like, I should be happy
like 15
for
points.
I should be happy for these guys, but we lost. Like I don't know if it was just like, is he secretly happy or is he kind of embarrassed? Are the Adelaide players, are they sending him just horrible things in his DMs to be like, yeah, we showed you think you're better than us?
Maybe they let Jock have his baskets while D'ing up everyone else. Maybe it was a
it could be.
Moment.
I think that loss was just one of those weird aberrational things. The starters played well. Everybody else stunk. But
they say that, but they did play over. I watched quite a bit of the game.
I love how I think it was Monty Williams who was like, we played our guys a little bit extra. It's like, oh, really? That's kind of weird. No, you're right, Sean. I mean, it was an aberration because of those shooting numbers that John alluded to. Like this is a team that the Adelaide team, not that we know anything about Australian basketball. Apparently, they're not a good shooting team, and I
don't even know why they're the 36ers. Is that an important year for them?
Insane number of Is it a gold rush? Is it a freedom fighter? Is it like a 76ers or like a 49ers?
49ers. We don't know.
Is it important or not important? No way to know.
Is it about capitalism or about patriotism? That's what we need to know. No, but I think this, last year's playoff fizzling by the Suns, everybody wants to bury them. I think this is hey, look at them, they suck now. So look how bad they suck. They lose to teams from Australia. I think it's just like none of this is connected. The weird thing and the interesting part about all this is what's happening with Jay Crowder, and I hope he finds his way to South Beach.
You've both sides of his butt. You were yelling at us for suggesting you wanted Jay Crowder in previous episodes.
I love him. He's tremendous. He's got the locks that I want on my team.
Yeah.
That's the follow.
What if you found out Jay Crowder's hair was just extensions?
Extend those non-extensions.
What would that do to your life?
I wish I had a Jay Crowder bet to talk about, but I don't.
No.
I don't know. Like the Suns losing this is just a perfect. They're building a lot of fun momentum just for like content talk. Like to come out of their media day, to come out of their like DeAndre Ayton's not happy to be here, and then to follow it up with losing to a non-NBA team.
Ooh, thank you.
Glory. Yeah, thank you very much. Lots of enjoyment. And then Devin Booker's posting like Michael Jordan or LeBron James clips on social media. Whew, that guy gets under my skin. It's good to have enemies in this world. It makes life more exciting. My worst thing, man. Honorary worst thing is the NBA GM survey coming out and multiple GMs saying the Jazz had the best offseason for getting terrible. From taking a top 10 team to making them one of the worst teams. Oh, that's the best offseason I've seen right there. I think guys, the prolonged standing rule, it's going to be a pain. I understand that Theo Pinson was trying to block people's shots and trick people into passing to him in the playoffs. I understand the people with the expensive seats on rows 1, 2, and 3 can't see over the players standing. But so far, early in the preseason, I've seen the prolonged standing delay of game called, and it's been after like highlight plays. It's been highlight plays. The bench is celebrating. They're all fired up. They're standing. And then finally you hear a whistle. You're like, what happened? And then it's like, oh, prolonged standing warning. And I think it's going to bite some teams when it hurts.
Grizz have gotten it each game, I believe.
The Grizzlies, they like to stand up and celebrate.
Right.
And
is this anti-Grizz legislation?
No, I mean, I don't even know if they're high up on the list of teams. I mean, I think it was primarily the unsporting acts of like a Morai who was like acting like he's going to block a shot while standing out of bounds. And of course the Theo Pinson thing. I don't know if the Grizz were high on the list of offenders, but so far through a few preseason games, it's been yet another unwanted whistle and stoppage of play.
Who's the coach who always stands way too close to the inbounding player? Who is that?
There's a lot of them.
It's going to be Jason Kidd, of course, but there's someone who
there was someone last year who like didn't someone actually hit the ball? Like
yeah, he was like swiping. Yeah.
Someone actually hit the ball. Maybe someone on the Knicks hit the ball last year, or they stuck their hand out. And got
I remember that vaguely as well.
I can't stop thinking about what that 36ers stand for. It's got to be like Independence Day or something, or is it something cooler? I gotta know.
We're gonna.
Is it Matthew Dellavedova related? Matthew Dellavedova on the Kings, by the way. Wowie zowie.
The colony of South Australia was officially proclaimed on December 28, 1836.
Oh.
So, more of a 76ers type thing.
Wait, so that's when the colony was created?
But I don't even know about the colony of South Australia. How does that relate to just normal Australia?
Yeah, I don't know. The 36.
We should definitely Google it on air and just read whatever we find.
Okay, so this is tremendous. This is tremendous. So if this is correct, and I could be wrong, it comes from the fact that the colony was proclaimed. So they are celebrating getting owned by the British monarchy. That's what that right
now you've gone a little bit hard on things we don't know about. And I just know you're going to have to apologize for it.
We have a whole apology thing. Pound it out.
All right. So those were our worst things. Before we get to our award segment, the return of the International Stackhouse of Pancakes, we have a couple of listener submitted questions. The croissant questioner.
The legendary Monte World Peace asks, what's your favorite plant to decorate? Pumpkins? Christmas trees?
Oh, very seasonal.
What else is there besides pumpkins and Christmas trees? I'm at a bit of a loss.
Cactus?
Cacti?
Just for fun? I don't decorate.
Nevada.
I'm not a huge. Are there other holidays where you decorate?
I definitely prefer trees to pumpkins just because pumpkins is gross. But I gotta say, I don't like decorating either of them because then there's just stuff you have to clean up. I'm very lazy.
I am not in the holiday spirit usually. That has fallen to my wife, who does like to decorate somewhat, but also it turns out she was just doing it because I didn't want to, and she doesn't love it that much. She does love it Christmas. I know, decorate trees. I got a Michael Jordan Space Jam doll that is turned into a Christmas tree angel on the top. And when you press the button on the back of Michael Jordan, it says
Republicans buy sneakers too.
That's exactly what it says. So I love Christmas. I think Halloween's like extremely overrated. It's for people who,
amateurs.
Yeah, it's just like, who cares?
Well, so Halloween,
got candy as a kid.
Halloween is now my favorite holiday because of my children. Because
this year
going trick or treating with my little kids has been like a joy. And some of that was during the pandemic years where it's like, man, this year's been terrible. But then we actually got to go out and like be in the neighborhood and walk around. So like Halloween has shot up my rankings just because it's basically the best day of the year for my children getting all the candy.
I have great news.
And dressing up. Yeah.
You can test every bit of your child's candy this year because of the air quotes fentanyl crisis, the fentanyl candy crisis that's going around. So you can just be like, I got to try that, Sonny boy. That's fentanyl. Yep, all fentanyl. Give it to daddy.
I will say the turn, the flip over to this holiday season, and I do feel like this is a leftover. This is an unspoken of leftover effect of the pandemic. People are turning to their holiday decorations earlier and earlier every year. I think it started in 2020. No one had anything to do. And they were like, it's like, what is it, August 28th? I don't care. I'm putting up my Halloween stuff.
The entire street that my girlfriend lives on had Halloween decorations on September 27th.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, was it on the next door post where they said, guys, just put them all up. Let's put them all up today.
The Facebook group.
Is this happening with you guys where everything is just shades of Christmas now? Because we have on our doorstep on our door, we have a Halloween wreath, which is like, that's Christmas, right? But it's like a Halloween wreath. It's like the really like
I do see people put up their
Day of the Dead.
They put up their Jack
where-
Skellingtons and Oogie Boogie in September and leave them out to January. Just you get your Nightmare Before Christmas.
Who's Oogie Boogie?
It just
Who's
is last.
Oogie Boogie?
He's one of the characters from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah.
That's a deep cut.
Is he voiced by Danny Elfman?
Probably. I don't actually know.
Is he as ripped as Danny Elfman?
Sorry, I don't have a lot of decorating plans for Monte there. What's our next question?
Orange Whip asks, in the wake of us hearing Doc Rivers' practice conversation with Harden, in which he said, "This ain't a democracy," and "The only two I want to try to get it to are you and Joel," how wonderful is the Sixers chemistry going to be this year? And who ends up in the first seed, them or the field?
I'll take
Well,
the
this
field.
is interesting because I happen to have placed a wager on the Sixers having a higher seed than 4.5 for -105.
Ooh,
So I'm
top
a bit,
4 seed.
I'm a bit bullish on the Sixers this year. I feel like they're just kind of going to cruise and have done all the right things despite all the tumult. I don't know. I don't really get concerned about what Doc Rivers says ever.
I do. He's proven that he could be a weak link for this team's aspirations. But like Chuck said, to answer Arnold's question, I mean, you got to take the field. Just for top seed, we got to get some significant positive odds in our direction.
Here's a bet. Where would you put Doc Rivers on first coach to get fired? Would you take or to get fired this year?
Did anyone like Luke Walton got fired last year and that was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't fire him in season anymore that much in the NBA.
But if the Sixers were horrendous, that could happen.
And also, like Daryl, that's not Daryl Morey's guy.
It is his guy.
Chuck,
it is his guy. Did he hire him?
Chuck.
Oh, okay.
He came in. No, he was already there.
He was there,
already
right?
there. But like Daryl Morey's like Doc Rivers' guy.
Okay.
They have a star-crossed love affair.
First, so you Chuck have asked the more important question. Your croissant query is the one I want. Who is first coach fired? Do we have first coach fired odds?
That's usually something
for NBA
we talk about. I didn't say Frank Vogel last year, but he didn't get fired in the season, so that was wrong. I should have said Frank Vogel, but I think Billy Donovan in Chicago. If they start out clunky and slow in an East that's kind of loaded, and they start out 0-4, then Billy Donovan, the shakes start happening. Billy Donovan might get.
You got to think. I've got to feel like Tibbs is on there.
Tibbs,
I don't know what
gonna happen.
Okay,
they'll be good.
The Knicks,
they're gonna be decent.
They're going to be 500.
I'm betting over on the Knicks. God help me.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Like I want to say. Last year I would have said Jason Kidd, but he coached his ass off last year.
I think like if you could get odds of like no coach fired,
that's what I want.
Plus 200, I would take it. Like look at the
What about Steve Nash just quitting? What about Steve Nash?
That's it.
Here are the longest tenured coaches in the NBA. All right, Popovich, Spoelstra, Kerr. That's 1 through 3. They're not getting fired no matter what. Then Mike Malone and Mike Budenholzer. They're not getting fired. The Pistons aren't going to fire Dwayne Casey. Nick Nurse isn't getting fired.
No.
Monty Williams, even if everything goes horribly for the Suns, they're not firing him. They're not firing him. There's no scenario they fire Monty Williams.
Somehow Denver Nuggets suck. Matches Malone?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I think
I don't think they'll suck.
I think he's so safe. Awesome. Then Taylor Jenkins is the 9th longest tenured coach in the NBA.
Hey now.
Right.
In his 4th year, he's not getting fired. Then we got JB Bickerstaff, Tom Thibodeau.
Oh, okay. I've got an official one. I'm gonna go with Chauncey Billups. If the Blazers are bad, I'll go with Chauncey Billups.
You're talking also about a franchise that's not going to pay that extra money,
right?
To pay 2 coaches.
I mean, I don't think anyone's getting fired, but if I had to do a pick, and I don't even think the Blazers will be bad. But,
going through this, I'm like, who in the world? None of these people are getting fired.
No.
Nate McMillan could get fired. Nate McMillan, I think, is your leader.
That is true.
But it's low odds. All right. It's low odds.
Because they did kind of underachieve last year.
I'm sorry. We blew this one.
Really?
We galaxy brained this one. There has never been an easier first coach fired prop bet in the history of sports. Ime Udoka. That's on us. That's a galaxy brain on us.
100%.
Oh, wow.
That's
they're
our
not
bad.
even
You
taking
started,
that
and I was
bet.
like, Joe Mazzulla? And I was like,
we should stick to listener questions, because when it was a host question.
And to answer the question, I'm not worried about anything Doc Rivers says until it's the playoffs, and then I'm extremely worried.
Hey, he started the Anthony Melton preseason game 1. You got my full backing, Doc. You got my full backing.
Vintage Melton, like 7 missed threes game, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, he made his first one, missed like 8 straight, but man, he got them steals and blocks. Look at that plus minus. It's all good. All good. Anyways, those were our listener submitted question. If you want to have your question answered on air, you have to be a Patreon supporter. Do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. If you want to play fantasy basketball with us, this is sound the alarm. It's the time. It's the time right now. You have to be at the $5 tier or higher. John, your draft is this Sunday. Your league's basically full. We will send out the emails probably on Wednesday for those people who signed up for that one. Chuck's going to have a draft. I'm going to have a draft. If we need extra drafts, we will create more leagues. Also, we have our negative fantasy league. That league, there's no cap on the number of teams that can play. So make sure you sign up if you want to play negative fantasy basketball with us. That's all at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. Also, if you join, you get access to the bonus video we posted last week. You get access to the Slack channel. You might as well support the program. Patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. It is now time for the awards segment of the program. The International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award, given to the worst performance in a box score. This is preseason basketball edition. Many of my tools are not available to find the worst shooters in the preseason, so I got to do it manually. Just saying there might be some errors. But as far as I can tell, here are our honorable mentions to the first few days of preseason basketball. Honorable mention, James Bouknight, 1 for 9. Anthony Simons got that bag, 2 for 12. LaMelo Ball, 5 for 19. We have 4 nominees in preseason. The first one, LeBron James, 0 for 7.
Hey, now.
It's all right. Keep shooting, LeBron. One of those shots will go down. 0 for 7, 4 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 turnover. Norm Powell for the Clippers was 1 for 11. 3 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 turnover, 4 personal fouls. And then Jordan Poole was 1 for 10 for the Warriors. Get that back, Jordan. 1 for 10, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block shot, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul. Actually, I'm just doing 3. Hang on. We have 3 nominees this week. All right, so what do you guys have? LeBron, 0 for 7, 4 points. Norm Powell, 1 for 11, 3 points, 5 rebounds. Jordan Poole, 1 for 10, 5 points, 5 boards.
Storm and Norman for me.
I love hating on LeBron.
So
there.
You make a great point, Chuck. And I'm not even being facetious, because when are we ever going to have the chance to give LeBron an eye shot?
I know it doesn't happen. I'm like contractually obligated to vote for any 4 for 20 and any LeBron James performance.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like the spirit of the award, if I objectively, if I take the names out, you remember we discussed doing that this year, removing the names, so there is no baggage, there is no associated Tyler Herro hatred, anything. Like we get rid of the bias if we do it blank. And so because of that, I think if I'm not seeing the names written down, it has to be Storm and Norman Powell. Congratulations on winning this season's first International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award. All right, par fadeaway, gentlemen, or this could just be more Burr's boobs of the butt bets, or the anything. Like there was a lot of basketball, there was a lot of good stuff that we picked up on. What things do you want to talk about in our par fadeaway?
One less bet.
Yeah,
I think this is the last time you're ever going to get to bet on the likes of a Giannis Antetokounmpo plus 1,100 for Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh,
I don't think you're ever going to see odds that long for Giannis.
I'm into that.
So I'm getting after it. And then also, once the player over-underers start disseminating. Let's bet against some of those last month of the season guys like Jalen Green, Cade Cunningham, stuff like that. It gets a little too juicy over there. Let's temper our expectations. I think both those guys are going to do well, but like there's probably going to be a point or two off. So those are my last. And then I think Zion Williamson plus 1,600 most improved. Come on.
That'll be interesting how we judge
weird.
most improved this year. Are we including all the players who did not play last year?
That's kind of what that's how it's trended lately. So that's
like
why
I'm
on
and
it. Yeah.
Ben Simmons.
Oh, Kawhi.
Yeah, I mean, you can't give a Kawhi a most improved. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's against the spirit. No, the Defensive Player of the Year award, I think, is interesting if you want to get involved with the futures bet or one of these props. Because, like, I don't think Gobert's going to win again. I think the new location
doesn't seem fashionable anymore.
I don't feel like he's going to win, and he's the favorite, the betting favorite. So then I do think Bam Adebayo is a great option. I'm seeing Robert Time Lord Williams listed high here. He's out for several weeks.
Yeah.
So I feel like that Giannis at like plus 1,100, or I'm seeing plus 1,000 here.
If the Celtics remain, staunch defensively without Time Lord, you'd have to think Marcus Smart has a good case to repeat.
Oh man, speaking of the Celtics, who obviously great at defense, and Marcus Smart received a lot of the benefit of that in the awards voting last year. But like Jason Tatum, clearly an amazing player.
Playing some center.
No way, he's an amazing defensive player and doesn't get maybe the credit among just maybe, I don't know, a lot of people. I saw that the real adjusted plus minus, they came out, the guy who adds that up, he finally stretched back all the play-by-play data back to the 96-97 season. Jason Tatum was listed as the top 5 in real adjusted plus minus for the last, whatever that, 26 years. Number one's LeBron, and it's like your best players. And it's like, my initial reaction to that was to kind of scoff. And then I'm like, well, maybe. I mean, he's awesome. The dude averages 27 points on teams that make the conference finals seemingly every year. And then, he's a great defender. By the way, Tony Allen was 27th in the list, which again, all stats you got to take. It's just another thing to add in. There's not an all-in-one stat, but that thing is telling me right there he's the 27th best player in the last 26 seasons, and that checks the eye test, and I'm in on that.
Cannon.
I'll tell you a couple things that I saw. One, I don't know if this should be an apology. I learned this during the Grizzlies game. We've been saying Chuma Okeke's name wrong.
What?
Okay.
It's OKK. But also, we get let off the hook a little bit. Apparently, Chuma Okeke had been saying his name wrong.
Oh.
He apparently he had family members who said, "Hey, listen, you're on TV a lot. They say your name; it's pronounced like this." And so we can correct that. Chuma Okeke. Anything you're looking forward to, Chuck?
Basketball. We got Timberwolves and the Heat tonight. We're going to see the Heat offense against the defense. Has Rudy Gobert in it. If he plays, I'm not sure. I didn't check the injury list. Who knows who's playing? Nobody might play. It might just be a bunch of guys who are trying to make the team. But I'm excited to watch an actual basketball game that's not on Twitter retweet.
We also Fast Break Breakfast Bowl preseason edition on Friday.
Yeah, we got it. Friday.
Grizzlies Heat.
I'm interested in seeing
maybe we'll get
what that looks like.
Laravia Herro matchups.
Oh, close that loop.
What if I want to happen? I want Laravia to be like guarded with Herro, and like during like a dead ball, be like Jake, be like, hey Tyler, man, who's your tattoo artist? I really like to get some of those. I'd like to get a wolf face on my chest. Can I get a weird animal head on my chest?
I'd love that.
Really ties the pecs together.
An owl.
Also, by the way, next week we'll be doing not this Friday for the Fast Break Breakfast Bowl, but next week Grizzlies preseason games will be in our watch parties on playback that's October 11th and 13th, and then for the people in the Nashville area, real physical actual NBA watch parties. The Grizzlies game against the Rockets on Friday, October 21st at Noble's Beer Hall. We'll have a real life, tangible watch party. We'll be giving away a lot of Grizzlies prizes and goodies there. Well, anyways, thanks for listening to this episode. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want to follow us on Twitter, John is Master John Burr, Chuck the Mighty Chuck. You can follow me at Fast Break Break. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening, And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.